This is Newsmax TV. I'm Ashley Martella. We're pleased to be joined again by Newsmax contributor Dick Morris. Welcome back to Newsmax, Dick.
No, thank you. It's a sad day for me. On Saturday, 2 days ago, my father died, who's 3 months shy of his 100th birthday. And he's been the inspiration of my whole life. If you want to read more about him, I have a tribute to him on my website, dickmorris.com.
On behalf of Newsmax, our thoughts and prayers are with you, Dick.
Thank you.
All right, Dick, before we get into politics, let's get your take on the WikiLeaks of some 90,000 military records, including unreported Afghan civilian killings and covert operations against Taliban figures.
First of all, whoever leaked the stuff deserves to be in jail for about 30 years. It put lives at risk. It compromised American intelligence operations. It compromised all kinds of covert operations. The analogy is often drawn to the Pentagon Papers during the Vietnam War, but those papers were largely documents that discussed the internal decision-making process going on in Washington, in the administration and in the Pentagon. It really did not concern extensive on-the-ground field operations in Vietnam. And therefore, the leak was embarrassing to the Johnson administration and to the Nixon administration during which the leak took place, but did not compromise American soldiers on the ground. This leak does, and I hope they find out who did it, and I hope that they prosecute him. I have my suspicions that it's some liberal brought into the Obama administration.
All right, political matters. A lot of talk these days about the possible expiration of the Bush tax cuts. Of course, it's an election year. What do you think will happen? Expiration for the wealthy, or no expiration at all?
Well, this is an occasion for all the phony Democratic conservatives to do their thing, because it's going to take 60 votes to extend any of the Bush tax cuts, and therefore only 40 to kill them. So what the conservative Democrats are going to do is they're going to say, oh, I want to kill all of the Bush tax cuts. I don't want anybody's taxes to go up. But unfortunately, it takes 60 votes to extend the lower tax rate for the wealthy, and my vote isn't enough, so I'll lose that fight. But they'll pretend and they'll posture till they're blue in the face. What in fact I think is going to happen is that the Republicans are going to say, either you cancel all the tax increases or you don't cancel any of them. And what they're going to do is they're going to hang tough, I hope, and vote against canceling the cuts on the middle class unless the cuts are also cut on the wealthy.
Longtime Harlem Congressman Charles Rangel goes on trial before an ethics subcommittee this week. Where do you see this one headed, and can he survive?
Well, I think that he's got a very serious primary challenge in his Harlem district, ironically, from Adam Clayton Powell IV. Now, Adam Clayton Powell II, I believe, his ancestor, held that seat and lost it to Charlie Rangel. And Adam Clayton Powell lost that seat because of ethics charges brought against him by the House of Representatives. Charges which, by the way, were largely phony and trumped up by the white, conservative Southern majority that was uncomfortable with the black committee chairman. The charges against Rangel are completely real. This guy is outrageous. If you read about him in our book Catastrophe, we really take him to task, and he deserves to be thrown out on his ear. But the voters of Harlem may do the favor for them, and they may oust him in the primary in mid-September.
Did it surprise you that the National Rifle Association accepted an exemption into the Disclose Act to support it rather than oppose it on principle?
I think it's horrible that they did that. They supported the act with that exemption, special interest exemption, and the rumor is that they're going to endorse Harry Reid for Senate in Nevada. If that happens, and if they do that, they will join a list of discredited organizations that includes AARP, which sold out the elderly to back Obama's health care, the American Medical Association, which sold out doctors to endorse Obama's measure, and now the NRA, which is selling out gun owners in order to endorse Harry Reid.
On other matters, new Rasmussen poll shows 58% of voters favor repeal of the healthcare overhaul, but 48% say it's unlikely to happen. Why do you think nearly half of those polled are pessimistic about rescinding the law?
Well, I think that they haven't really looked forward at the political situation. I think that it'll become evident to people by 2011 and 2012 that Obama will be defeated, I believe, and the new president will sign a repeal bill. It certainly is true that while Obama is in office, it's not very likely. The thing that I found fascinating about the Rasmussen poll is Obama is down to a new low of 43% job approval. And the interesting thing, Ashley, is it's Democrats he's losing. He's about where he always was among Republicans and independents. But Democrats are turning on him, partially because of the Afghan war, partially because of Guantanamo, because of his incompetence in dealing with the oil spill. And I'll bet that these Afghan papers accelerate that defection.
And finally, Dick, Harry Reid is out there saying healthcare reform will end up helping Democrats in the November election. Is Reid right?
Well, he's always said that, and he also said, by the way, that he's going to push for a public option, which is a good enough reason to get rid of the Democratic majorities, even if he didn't have any other. I think that that the Democrats are going to be dragged down by the health care bill. It's ridiculous to say that a bill that 58% of the country opposes long after it's been enacted is going to help those who voted for it. That's the kind of fuzzy math, and I expect that Harry Reid will be defeated too. By the way, we're fighting like crazy to defeat him, and he's put on a negative ad against the Republican Sharon Angle that lies, that accuses her of wanting to phase out Social Security when she does not.
Dick Morris, as always, thanks.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching Newsmax TV.